At the commencement of the film, we observe Alan and Wei, who had journeyed to the Arctic with the intention of filming a documentary. They were required to travel by ship in order to reach the Arctic region. Owing to the unavailability of a taxi at the airport, they experienced a delay in arriving at the port. Nevertheless, they were fortunate enough that the ship was still awaiting their arrival. Their baggage, which included their cameras, was misplaced at the airport. So, how did they manage to proceed with filming the documentary? They engaged a local assistant for the film shoot, named Sean. Ultimately, they boarded their ship and thus their expedition commenced. The journey begins. Along with these people on the ship, there were many others, a total of 12 passengers traveling. Everyone was very happy and excited. Ray and Alan start making their documentary, which Sean begins to record. However, they aren't too pleased with his work, but they have no choice as they can't find another cameraman at this time. Sean's demeanor was quite peculiar as well. He always had a box with him, which contained a device resembling an old-fashioned radio. He never kept it away from himself, but after having breakfast, he mistakenly left it on the table. Ray, who always wondered what was inside this box. I always pondered what was contained within it. Kishan consistently carried it alongside him. He opened it and donned the headphones, activating the device. There was no recording, merely an unusual sound, a kind of sound wave which he also allowed Alan to hear. For several months, they had noticed that it wasn't displaying anything from a distance. They promptly switched off the device, placed the headphones back in the case, and secured it closed. Sean swiftly came and retrieved the device. Following this, they sent the phone outside to capture everything afresh, and Alan attempted to reach out to his family, but he realized he couldn't because there was no signal in the middle of the ocean. It was impossible to make contact from here because there is no signal in the middle of the ocean, and we also learn that Alan's wife was upset with him. After that, we see that Ray started shooting the documentary again. He interviewed the captain of the store. He asked the captain why people live in the Antarctic. It's such a dangerous place, completely isolated from the world, and there's no signal here, to which the captain replied that this place is very close to nature, and people come here for peace. As soon as the interview was backed up, Ray noticed something from a bird's eye in the distance. It was ongoing. It was a very good thing. He wanted to show it to Reshon as well, but before that, the bird flew away. Here, confused Ray went under where Alan was talking to two scientists. These scientists were researching how sonic waves could destroy the entire world in a short time. Alan was listening to quite a bit of Hawson's talk. After Ray's arrival, the scientist left, and Ray and Alan started talking to each other, where Alan was very worried due to his family, and Ray gave him some encouragement. Just before that, Kellen was just about to recount the bird incident outside when they were startled by a loud noise. Upon venturing outside, they encountered a most peculiar and unsettling sight. A creature was devouring its own offspring, and it was the first occasion they had ever witnessed such a horrifying scene in their lives. Even the captain, who had spent numerous years in the area, remarked that he had never encountered anything like it before. They were deeply frightened. They commenced guiding all the travelers indoors. Meanwhile, Sean began recording the entire event. Alan and the others also discussed this briefly, considering it a significant component of the documentary. Joined their companions. They went to where Captain Bishwas was grilling. They looked at everything but didn't feel like eating, so they ate nothing. However, Alan ate the fish, and after eating, he started feeling unwell. He began vomiting and went towards the blind spot. Sean and the others were still working on the documentary. Suddenly, Sean noticed that the sound of birds flying in the air had increased. When he looked up, he saw that the birds were not in any pattern, and the sound of their flapping was very loud. Suddenly, the birds began to disappear before he could alert everyone. Turning around, he saw that all the people here had disappeared. In a bizarre manner, there wasn't a single person left. Astonished, he looked at Ray. Sean had recorded all of this. When he checked his recording, he saw that people had indeed vanished, and he was confused as to how all this had happened. They thought someone was playing a prank on them. He went inside and told Alan about it, and together they started searching the entire ship for people. But they couldn't find anyone, and then they realized that something very wrong had indeed happened here. Now they asked Sean, "You recorded everything. Did you find out what was happening?" But even San mentioned that he himself didn't understand what had happened here. They then searched for their mobile phones to call someone for help, but there was no signal. Alan's condition was worsening, and he was unable to speak properly. He couldn't comprehend what was happening to him. He went to the control center of the ship to try and contact headquarters via radio, but they weren't getting any response from there either. Now, worried by everything he was witnessing, he spotted an island in the distance. Was a relief. He could go there and ask someone for help. They could ask for help. Quickly, he went and told this to Alan. Alan didn't want to go there, but in the end, Rainey convinced him that it was better to go for help. Alan also came towards the shore, where upon arriving in the light, they noticed a bite mark on Alan's neck, but Alan couldn't remember anything about any incident happening to him. The wound was quite deep and needed treatment. Before Reiki arrived, Alan found a camera here that belonged to a tourist. This camera had recorded everything, showing how everyone disappeared from there in a circuit, which made Alan and the others even more worried. They gathered the necessary supplies and boarded a lifeboat, heading towards the small island. Upon reaching the place, the most remarkable thing was that, despite it being such a large town, they didn't see a single person. They couldn't believe their eyes. They thought perhaps the cold had driven people indoors. They decided to search the town and move forward. However, every hotel, every mall, every house was empty. There was no one anywhere. They didn't even know what this place was, but from the writings they saw, they guessed it was Russia. Sean and Amit both. We three will not separate from each other under any circumstances, as I feel the situation is deteriorating. They had now come inside the mall to investigate. From the indoor gaming center, they heard a strange noise. Upon reaching there, they saw a wounded deer writhing in pain, with marks on its body exactly like the ones on the island's body. But they were astonished. Came outside. Upon entering a hotel, Ray saw soup on the table. It was still warm, which meant that all the people here, like the people on the ship, had also. They vanished suddenly. Something unnatural occurred here. It seemed as if this was orchestrated by someone, because if people had died naturally, their bodies would be here. While pondering this, Alan began writhing in pain. Brian noticed large wounds on his leg. Alan's condition was so poor due to the pain that he couldn't continue the investigation with them. So, Ray and Sean decided to move forward on their own, and Alan headed to the board for his medication. On the way, he saw a polar bear whose body was wounded similarly. The situation will be quite challenging for Alan, and he will not be able to escape. Unexpectedly, the polar bear did not respond. Ray and Sean observed an illumination emanating from a building. They presumed someone might be present inside. Upon investigating, they were let down. The place was empty. As time went by, it became dark. Abruptly, Ray noticed a firelight outside, igniting a different idea. He ventured out and discovered Alan lying on the ground, but Alan had not initiated the fire. Ray brought Alan indoors and commenced arranging sustenance and beverages. He realized Alan still had the camera that he had picked up from a traveler's boat. In the footage from this camera, it was clear that when everyone disappeared, Sean did not, and he was recording videos of them all. This meant he certainly knew something and had hidden it from everyone. Alan wanted to tell Ray after the foreign incident, but Ray came to him not alone but with Sean. They decided that they would leave the area quickly. They had a live photo, but now the issue was that they were low on fuel. Ray decided he would collect some fuel from outside, amongst many motor cars. While Alan stayed here, Sean realized that Alan wanted to convey something to Ray. So, he placed the same headphones over Alan's ears and played the same song he had been listening to a while ago. Despite the dangerous environment, he hadn't forgotten to listen to it. Anyway, Alan fell asleep quite peacefully. After refueling, when Ray came to fetch Alan, he noticed the camera lying next to Alan and saw all the footage in which everything was clear. Kishore had recorded footage of all those things, and Sean was somehow involved with them. As soon as he saw, he ran towards the bay and caught hold of Sean. He beat Sean a lot, so that Sean would tell the truth about what was really happening in this place. After taking such a beating, Sean finally admitted it. He revealed that a special kind of experiment was being conducted at that location. It involved supersonic waves, which are so dangerous and powerful that they can destroy a person or any living being within seconds. They eliminate humans in such a way that no trace is left, and during that time, when everyone was, the supersonic waves were utilized in this location, which is the reason why everyone was eliminated, and it was a clandestine military experiment. You and Alan managed to survive because we had listened to the sound wave that the scientist had provided us, and it safeguarded our minds from the effects of the sonic wave. I was aware that both of you had also listened to that sound wave. That's the reason you are alive in front of me today. I didn't come here merely to record footage for you. The army deployed me here. And now that you are aware of all these truths, so now, with you two, I also fall ill, as I was meant to keep this secret but failed. Ray was shocked hearing this. He asked why Alan had wounds. It was explained that supersonic waves caused them. Alan ate fish from the captain, already infected by those waves. That's why he got a bit ill but didn't die. Sean explained that the military gave him a satellite phone to contact them for rescue. But now, he can't reach them, which clearly means he'll be even longer. How? We will all be killed. I went to tell Alan the whole truth. I saw that he was already on the brink of death. Alan recorded a last message for his family, after which Ray put his phone and all his belongings into a bag and threw it into the cell so that someone might find it. Meanwhile, it was shown that Sean was still trying to contact the military. Suddenly, we heard gunfire, and it was revealed that someone had attacked and killed Sean with a gun. Attacker was not shown, but Ray, who was hiding, witnessed all of this. Seeing this, he became anxious. At that moment, his phone rang, and he realized it must be the military because none of the phones were working before. He also understood that the military was studying them too, and that they would be killed. This fear is shown to me as the film ends here. It leaves the question of whether I will survive with a mysterious ending or be killed by them.